One unusual thing about making tax digital is that the government is arranging for third parties such as Cirrostratus to be given authority by you to deal with the government's computer systems on your behalf. This is a system of authorization that's used by a number of organizations such as Google and Twitter, and I shall show you a little bit about how that works. When you want to give authority to a third party to talk to the government on your behalf, you start a process, which we're doing here, which links up to a government server, and this is the live government server here, and it says that you, as it says on the screens, we want to interact with HMRC on your behalf, and you can then continue on through there. And if we get this up, this is now on the government servers. Government servers are a bit slow today, it seems. Well, I'm sure they'll do it at some stage, but I'm going to go on and do the video anyway. Sometimes the government servers don't respond that quickly. I'll stop that. But the point is that you give authority through this process for 18 months to a third party to access or to link their computer systems to the government's APIs. So as part of that, security becomes a very important issue. And in fact, the HMRC have a number of rules about how companies who deal with people like yourselves using these authority systems have to develop their computer systems. Those generally, I think, are quite good rules. I'll go through some of the security aspects so you can see how we at Cirrostratus would arguably be second to none in terms of the way in which we handle your data. One of the first things we do is, for each of our clients, yourselves, we allocate you a separate area for data. That is, we don't mix your data up with other people's data. Now, admittedly, if you're a firm of accountants, you'll only have one area for data, and you'll have your own website. As you can see for the example I've done here, I've set up a company called Your Company on VAT Direct. So it would have, your company would have your own domain name at VAT Direct and your own set of tables and pieces of information, because in practice, for all of the MTD companies, they all need access to authority systems, and we thought it was best to keep the authority for each company separate from each other company, and so we've established a system technologically that does that. One of the tests that the government uses to how well the people working with MTD do their security is to look at the quality of transmission level security, TLS or SSL, or secure sockets layer. And in fact, there is a website you can use, and it's on the screen at the moment, which checks the quality of the SSL implementation. And as you can see, the website we would set up for you would be an A+ rating. You can't actually beat the A+ rating on this. We're not saying necessarily just because somebody else is A or B that necessarily their site is insecure, but I would say you can't get better than A+. Another issue the government raised is actually that of accessibility, and we agree with the government that if people have disabilities, visual disabilities or oral disabilities, that there should be mechanisms to make sure that they can also use government services and websites. And here is another website that tests websites, and you can look at it online, checkers EIII.eu, and they can check whether or not there are any accessibility problems. And if you look, here we have on the Your Company, this one's desk.vatdirect, but the same principle applies. There are no problems. Nothing fails, nothing needs verification, and 171 items pass. But there's one additional thing that we do as well, which is we ensure that the security headers, this is something that's developing relatively newly on the internet. The internet tends to be developing on. This isn't necessarily a rule set by the government, but it's about making sure that the websites you look at can't have things like what's called injected JavaScript. There is a facility with many modern browsers whereby the program that is running your browser can be modified by the program itself, and the security headers are used to control the way in which those modifications are done. Again, here we have got an A+ grade for yourcompany.vatdirect, so the secure website that you would have would in fact be at the best possible grade in terms of this website as well. Another thing that Cirrostratus does, which we talk about as future proofing, is we've looked at changes that may be required in the future, and you can see here part of the publicly available VAT API for making tax digital, and you'll note that it says that in order to assist in preventing fraud, it'll probably become compulsory to supply certain header information for the API, the application's programming interface. These are the anti-fraud headers, and in fact we provide all of the anti-fraud headers. The anti-fraud headers require two-type authentication. That is, you need to have a password and access via a password, but also have security access, which is using, say, a message to the phone or to the text message, and we use Telegram and Twitter as well. And hence our system is already future-proofed, because it includes the two-type authentication, and it also includes the anti-fraud headers, every single one of them. So I hope we've explained how we take cybersecurity and your security very seriously. We don't sell anyone's data to anybody. That's not part of our business plan. Our business plan is to do a good, reliable service that does the job properly at a good price. And we don't sell anyone's data or anything else like that. And we aim to have security that is second to none.